Hi my peeps and welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about commissions and just the things that I've learned doing commissions. I did a video a while ago, like maybe 2 or maybe even 3 years ago, about a commission that did not go well for me. And I'm going to put that up in the iCards and also in the end screen so you can see that if you're interested. But anyway, before we get to the topic, I would like to give a shout out to, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name, Yalia Golston. Bye. And also Pine, because Pine comments a lot. So here you are, Pine. And here you all are. I really like reading y'all's comments, so if you would like to be the comment of the week, all you have to do is comment on any video, and that could have been you. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I also have a Patreon page, and by the time you're watching this, the October wallpaper is already up, and maybe even, like, if you're watching this on YouTube, the speed painting for that might also be up already. So, like, if you wanna see that, like, the link's in the description. I set a goal on Patreon. If I recall correctly, my memory is a little challenged, but if I recall correctly, the goal was for 15 patrons, and then I'll start doing a monthly print, which is, the drawing for the print will be different from the monthly wallpaper. So it's like 2 drawings, like just for patrons. So if that's something you would like to see, head over there. But like, you don't have to, but like, if you wanted to. So commissions. Commissions are a nice way for you as an artist to make a little change. Like, even if you're not doing it as a career, you can still do commissions like on the side, just to make a little extra point if that is something that you're interested in. And I can't necessarily tell you when you'll be ready to do commissions. I knew I was ready when someone had asked me if I could do a commission for them, so I was like, oh, I must be ready. But you don't necessarily want to, you know, put that decision on someone else, the decision of whether or not you're ready on someone else. So like, you could start if that's something that you want to do. And what I personally do is I use my Instagram kind of like a portfolio / menu for my commissions. So if someone contacts me and is like, I'm interested in a commission, I'll be like, okay, here's my Instagram, here's all the type of drawings that I do. And that kind of helps so that, to make sure that the person who is commissioning you knows what type of art that you do, so that you won't get like halfway through a drawing and they realize, you know what, I don't really like this style. And an even better thing to do is have a sampling of the type of work that you would like to draw for commissions, because I don't really like doing realistic stuff. Like, I do, like, sometimes I do like painterly drawings like this one, but I don't necessarily want to do a commission of a drawing like that. So when someone asks what type of drawings I do, I'm not going to show you that one, because that's not the type of drawing that I would like to draw for a commission. And you have the power, you know, you have the power to determine what type of drawings that you do. Like, someone can tell you, I want X, Y, and Z, but like, if you don't want to do X, Y, and Z, you don't have to. And that's the beauty of it. Another thing that is really good for you to have, and I talked about this in the video that I mentioned earlier, a contract is super important. Like I said, the video about that already, where I talk about that whole, how I learned that you need one of those. Even if you're doing it like casually, like, it's important to have some type of agreement between you and the person commissioning you. You are able to create some rules, and you can tell them what to expect, how your process works, and how, like, if you are someone who sends progress shots of your work, you can tell them how you'll send those and when you'll send those, how to send payment, when to send payment. You know, all that type of stuff is really important, and I send that up front so that a person, if they're not comfortable with my terms and conditions, they can back out of it if they like. And it just, you know, once again, kind of goes back to making sure that everyone involved in the process knows what's going on and knows what to expect. Because, you know, when you're doing commissions, you're providing a service for someone, so they can't really tell you what and how to run your business, I guess. You can tell them, this is what I do, this is how I do it, and if you agree to these terms, good. And it doesn't have to be something super fancy. It doesn't have to be worded super fancy or anything. It could just be a bunch of basic rules. And I see some people do this on Instagram when they say that their commissions are open. They'll have like several slides that tells you how their process works, what they're not comfortable drawing, what they don't want to draw, and how their payment process works. So you could even do it like that. You don't have to send them like a document via email. Payment. I'm still trying to, learning how much to charge. I don't really necessarily want to give a lot of advice on that because I'm still learning myself. But one thing I will say, it's a good idea to at least know how long your process takes you, how long it takes you to draw specific types of drawings, and then like whatever the hourly rate is where you live, then you can charge per hour like that. Like let's say a drawing takes you 2 hours to do and minimum wage is 15, like you can take 15 times 2, $30 for this. Or you even have the ability to charge more than that. A good thing to do is to see what other people who have a similar skill set to you are charging, and to kind of use that to also gauge where your prices should be. But like I said, I'm still learning that and navigating all that. Like I didn't know that you could charge for image rights, and I've just been giving those away for free, and turns out you shouldn't do that. Well, I guess you can because I've been doing it, but like you can charge for that. So like if anyone knows how to do that, help me, because I need it. I need some assistance because I don't know how to do that. And it's so confusing online sometimes when you look this stuff up. It's like, is it really that complicated? This point kind of goes back to the contract and setting rules for yourself and for your client. Some people are kind of picky when it comes to the drawing, and will request changes to be made. Sometimes a lot of changes, sometimes really small things. Sometimes the person will be like, I want this thing moved just a smidget to the left or a smidget to the right, and I want this to be redrawn this way, or I don't really like this, or can you add these little details? And if that's not something you want to do, or if it is something you want to do, it's important in your contract to let the client know either way what your rules are for suggesting changes. And I suggest having a price for changes, like especially like I have it in my little contract, that you're allowed to make one change without being charged, because I have different stages. Like I have a first sketch, then I have finished sketch, line art, flat color, shading, and highlights. So like at the first stage you are able to make changes and stuff. Second stage, by this time I have it so that the person can approve the drawing as it goes along. So if you down the road you decide I don't like this, like I would like to be compensated for my work because that's more time that I have to put into the drawing. So it's just nice to have in your little contract that if changes are made, especially at a certain point, that you will be compensated for that, because you're putting more work into it and more time into it. And especially if your price, like I mentioned earlier, is determined by an hourly kind of rate, and you determine that I spend this amount of time on drawings, but if you do a change, that change is going to take me like an hour extra to change or something, like you have to make sure that you're properly compensated for your work. And you put that in your contract so that your client knows this. And I found that this also that's a way of preventing having to make changes later, like having to make changes during the process, because I like to say in my little contract and make sure that the client knows that it's important to communicate what you like and communicate things as soon as possible, so that, if I won't be coloring the drawing and you decide I don't want this whole thing here, or I want this to be changed, like I make sure that they know that it's best to change that at the first stage. Like if you want a pose to be changed, it's best to change that at the very beginning before I even finalize the sketch. So it's just really nice to have all this stuff communicated with your clients, so that it won't stress you out, and also so that the client won't feel like you are throwing something in there out of nowhere and being like, oh yeah, Steve, you best pay for this, when Steve didn't know. Like, you didn't tell Steve, so let Steve know. So like, the contract is a really good idea because it protects both you, because you're able to kind of set your rules and have your client adhere to those rules, and it helps the client because the client knows exactly what to expect from you. So those are the things that I've learned while doing commissions. That's what I could think of right now, and if I missed something, I'm sorry. But yeah, commissions, I find that setting these rules has helped me a lot because I don't have as many surprises as I used to. I had an instance where I was not compensated for my work at all, which is another thing I forgot to mention. It's nice to accept at least half of your payment up front. That way, if the client disappears and you've already done the work, you at least got something out of that, which is something I learned the hard way. So yeah, that's another little nugget in there. But anyway, those are things that I've learned. I hope that helped you out. And like I said, I'm still learning myself, so if you have any tips, I would love to hear them because I need assistance. And I would like to learn more. Or something you want me to elaborate on, let me know in the comments. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to support me in my artwork, you can head over to my Patreon page where you can get things like early access to videos, a monthly speed painting, a monthly studio vlog style video, oh my goodness, a monthly wallpaper, behind the scenes stuff, and also, oh my goodness, shout outs at the end of each video. Speaking of which, oh my goodness, shout out to my patron, Turtle Bun Buns, who is also my friend. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate you and everything that you do. Also, if you're not interested in Patreon, that's what is this? I don't want this. You can also support me on Ko-fi, or you can subscribe to my channel, or you can follow me on Instagram if you want to. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please enjoy the rest of your day, my peeps.